not skinny enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, my thighs aren't slim enough, my butt is not big enough, it's too big, my boobs aren't big enough, too small, too big, too flabby, too whatever. And this is a problem going on in society right now. Like, people end up asking me, you know, do a video on confidence. How do you get confident to do what you do? Let me you guys give you a scenario or a story. Okay, everyone in this world interprets things differently. No two people interpret the situation 110% correctly. It's like when you're reading the Harry Potter books, or you're reading like a book and you go out and see the movie. You know, you interpret things that come at you, like stimulants, actions, behaviors, whatever. You interpret it one way, and then you go out to the scene in the movie and you can, you know, it can be completely different from the way you envisioned it, right? The characters could be different, the layout could be different, the scene could be different, people's voices could be different. There's so many things that could be different between the movie and the book. So we all have different kind of adaptations and ways we envision the world. And that is like the scenario of life. You know, everyone has a different reality. We all see the same maybe stimulants, but we all grew up in different conditions and grew up with different people and different environments, blah, 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 blah. We have different genetics, our brain operates differently, all this kind of stuff. So there is not one set truth about reality, which I think is so great about life. There isn't a single truth to anything, really. It's all how you interpret it. And the fact is, everyone sees things through different lenses. They see things through their different prescriptions of life, right? And when someone tells you you're not good enough, they're basically taking what they observe through their lenses, through their, you know, behaviors, their environment, blah, 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 and they attribute it onto you, saying, from my perspective, I don't think you're XYZ enough. Now, this can be anything. This can be you trying to go to a specific college. It could be you trying to get that modeling job. It could be you trying to date that specific guy. They could say all this different stuff. But my question is to you is, how is it that you give them the authority to say, hey, your way of judging me through your lenses is better than the way I judge myself? Now, that is when you have to really stop thinking that you're not XYZ enough. Why? Because you are telling yourself that. No one else is telling you that. No one else has the authority to say that kind of stuff to you. How do you become confident? How do you think you are enough? You know, how do you think you are pretty enough to date that really cute guy you have a crush on? Or how do you think you are smart enough to get into whatever program or college or job or it is you're applying for? You have to think, you have to believe that you are. And if you don't quite believe you are, and sometimes I will admit that, you know, I sometimes get very like, oh my goodness, like, what am I doing? Like, what if I'm not enough? But whenever I think that way, I put on a different pair of glasses. I put on a different pair of lenses. And I see things from a very positive perspective of myself. And once sometimes, you know, sometimes I'll even write it down. Even if I think I'm not XYZ enough for something, I will take a sheet of paper and I will write down all the great qualities about me and what I bring into this program or whatever that make me good enough for it. And you always have to think that way. You know, don't let people tell you you're not good enough for this reason or that reason. I've had so many people tell me things and people say XYZ things, and all I do is just block them out, because everyone has an opinion, right? Everyone has gone through different walks of life, and they are going to see you in their walk of life. But the fact that they judge you on, you know, paths they take in life, scenarios that they have grown up with, you know, the way their brain operates, doesn't mean that theirs is the right answer for your life and your circumstances and your actions because of that. I've always been described as kind of a quirky person. I've always been not normal. I'm not a normal person. You ask anybody, I'm not normal. I can't be normal. I don't know how, because I'm not. I didn't grow up in a normal situation. My brain isn't normal. I'm very eccentric. I'm very hardcore at whatever I do. I know people talk shit about me and they say XYZ things about me, but I don't really give a damn, because this is who I am. The fact that I am creating things, building stuff, building content, reaching out to people and being who I am, that is enough for for me. That means I am good enough to do whatever it is I want to accomplish. And let me just tell you, heart to heart to heart, you, whatever it is you want to achieve in your life, you are good enough. Don't let anyone tell you you're not. Because the moment you let someone get that to you, the moment you let them crush you, you have lost this battle. And I think the reason why in this life, in this world, we have just so much negativity is because people let those comments get to them, right? People let those comments get to them. So people give up. They give up. They don't pursue what they want. They don't pursue their dreams. They don't pursue their goals. They become lazy. They don't even want to try because they let those voices get to them. And then they become homeless, they become drug addicts, they become, you know, bullies, they start writing all these hater comments on YouTube. For all these, they do things that are very negative to our society. And I want our society to be a positive society, because the only way for human race to move forward and for humans to do great things in the world is for us to be positive and for us to believe in ourselves. I think startups are so amazing because it's basically like a few people or one person trying to change the status quo, trying to change the world, and they somehow believe in their own little mind, in their own little world, that they are good enough to achieve that. And I think that is such a great thing about life, you know, that someone like let's say Mark Zuckerberg, right? He's the guy who created Facebook. He thought in his dorm room with his computer, he thought he could change the way people interact and communicate. Just this one person out of what, 7 billion people in the world, he thought that. And the truth is, because he thought that and he believed that, he did change the world. And what if he let people get to him? You know, what if he let people tell him he couldn't do what he wanted to do? Then we wouldn't have had, you know, Facebook, and we wouldn't have all this social media stuff and all these cool iPhone apps and all this great technology that we use every day. You know, we might have not had YouTube for that. People will give advice because of reasons. People will tell you you're not good enough, or they don't believe in you. You know why? Because they couldn't achieve it themselves. That is why. That is what I've learned in life. Like, people have told me it's so hard to do this, it's so hard to do that, blah, 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 blah. And the reason why they tell me that is because they didn't achieve it themselves. Like, that is a way of them trying to express failure or trying to express, you know, defeat when they tell people they can't do certain things. So that is why I always try to surround myself with very positive people, very, you know, supportive people who have, you know, achieved what I want to achieve or what I want to emulate, because, you know, they believe I can do it because they could do it as well. I love reading, I love Steve Jobs. He's like my idol. I love how he's so crazy and so weird, but his craziness and weirdness is what got him to create Apple. And if you read his book, which I highly recommend, I'll link it below, Steve Jobs had what people called a reality distortion field, or reality distortion mind, which means all this stuff he took from his surroundings, he didn't kind of read it the same way most normal people read it. And because he saw things very differently, and because he believed in things that people didn't think were possible, he was able to create Apple, which, you know, led to the MacBooks, to the iPhone, to the Mac, to the iPad, all that. And if he had listened to what people told him, if he had listened that things were impossible, if he had listened to people telling him he was weird, because he wasn't a normal person, you know, he wasn't like Mr. Frat Boy, Mr. Hot Stud Muffin, getting all the girls kind of guy. Like, he was just this weird guy who didn't shower, who didn't wear shoes, who smelled bad, who only ate certain things certain days, who didn't have any furniture in his house, blah, 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 blah. But because he believed that he could change the world in that way, and he didn't let other people get to him, and he saw things through his glasses, and he believed in his vision and what he wanted, he could achieve it. And he did. And we always have to realize that, you know, when people push us down, when people give us hater comments, when people say X, Y, Z, blah, 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 realize that all the great leaders and people of change in this world have had people say that to them, but they refused to believe in any of what they said. And I definitely believe that you girls, guys, whatever, can achieve whatever it is you want in life. Just don't let anyone tell you that you can't, and go for it. Go for it. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the video, please thumbs up it. Thumbs up, thumbs up. And also don't forget to subscribe here. And if you want to share it with your friends and family and all your great followers, please share it on Facebook and tweet it out. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, my perfect beauty. I'll see you later.